this session is something that we intend to do on a monthly basis. Like last time we actually did something like that with Cambridge Innovation Center. We're talking about different subjects, but actually our intention is to bring up different subjects related to e-commerce and marketing almost every month. So if you guys gonna like it, then stay connected because we'll try to do it more often. And today is about mobile apps and websites. So maybe before we start, I just wanna ask those of you guys who are here, like, for whom this subject of choosing between website or mobile app for their e-commerce is relevant right now? Maybe, yeah, okay. Marzena, for you it's not? Yeah. No, I'm sure it is. Okay, so is it something, okay, so for other of you, I understand this is a subject you're interested in, but maybe not relevant totally right now. Okay, so there are going to be different things happening today, but this introductory session that we're starting with right now is to give some background to the later things where we're going to go deeper into marketing, into analytics, and also into business practices that's going to happen in the end of today with the panel session with some really awesome panelists. So now let me share the stage with Arek. So I'm Ewa Wysocka, and I'm CEO of Tribe 47. So Arek, let's maybe, we don't have a clicker, but that's fine, I will click. We can still keep it open, I think, yeah, because people are going to be coming. And basically, I'm CEO of Tribe 47, which is a growth agency for e-commerce. And Arek.
Yeah, I am Arek. I'm the CEO of Sublime. It's an analytics platform for D2C and e-commerce.
Yeah, so if you want to know more about us, that's not the moment, but we just put this brief slide to kind of put us into perspective. So Tribe 47 executes growth and Sublime measures growth. So basically we do execution of campaigns and they measure them from different perspectives. So this is an, again, agenda for this session. And first we're going to give you some facts and trends that will surprise you maybe, or maybe not. Then we're gonna give you metrics that will actually confuse you, so sorry. And then we give you some pros and cons for website versus mobile app that will actually confuse you even more. Again, sorry. And finally, there are gonna be some minimum tech knowledge. So if you're in IT, this is the moment you can go and grab your coffee because it's gonna be really basic in terms of tech. And finally, we're going to give you some common approaches and conclusions of this short session. And hopefully this will relieve you a little bit of the confusion that you're going to experience before. So are you guys ready? Okay, great. So one disclaimer. Today's session, when we say e-commerce, we say shopping online. So you know, there's lots of different understandings around e-commerce. Different people say different things when they say e-commerce. Today, e-commerce for us is shopping online. So key questions that are on our mind, were on our mind when we were designing today's sessions from the start were as follows. Is website enough to launch your online store? Do you need a mobile app for shopping to grow your online sales? And finally, how do you actually plan your website versus mobile app strategy? So, you know, hopefully you're gonna exit this event today with some answers to these questions. So now, Arek, about some facts and trends.
Yeah. So
you're gonna click, or you want me to click?
Yeah, I will do it
click
myself.
And I will be just giving some hints.
Okay. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about landscape of desktop and mobile. So in 2015, the Google pushed an industry standard that required pages to websites to have like a mobile-friendly version. And it started to punish those that didn't do it. So they were like ranked lower in search engine results. And this was designed to promote mobile sites, and it changed market a lot in the whole industry. As of today, like there is over like 60% of worldwide traffic coming from mobile device, and that was true for February this year. But for example, like last Sunday it was only like 51. So you can see that there is like still an oscillation. It's usually between like 60 and 50% mobile traffic coming from worldwide traffic coming from mobile devices, and we can see that that's the trend. That's the traffic for 2012, 2021, and you can see that the moment when Google like implemented the need for mobile-friendly version of the website was like the focal point for the whole industry, and up until this moment there was like a clear rising trend with mobile traffic being like more and more every year, and just after that, like the trend is still present. There is like a slight upward trend, but as you can see, like the division between like mobile and desktop traffic is kind of like stable. It's like 60 to 40% or 45 to 55% like globally worldwide. But that's the statistics, and with statistics, we know that it levels like everything. So it's different for different kind for different regions of the world. For example, in Asia, the mobile adoption was is higher, and we can see that like 70% of the old traffic coming through Asia is mobile traffic, and they just skipped the desktop phase because the development curve for them was a little bit different. And you can see here also the point where the Google like introduced the change. For Europe, the traffic is totally different. Between like 2012, 2021, there is an upward trend that is still present, but the traffic is divided between 50% to mobile, 50% desktop in Europe. And as you can see, like mobile here in Europe, it's still a little bit above like the desktop, still a little bit above the mobile.
So before you go to the next slide, so how do you guys think it's in Poland?
It's more like Europe, worldwide.
More like Asia.
Japan website still looks like
Yep. Yeah, we are more like the worldwide trend, let's say. So the adoption here was super fast at the like 2012 to 2015, and then the trend is still present, but it's not that strong as it used to be. So here in Poland, we have a lot of like mobile traffic, around like 60%, 55-60%, but 45 still is like coming from desktop. So we cannot like abandon one platform and only do the other one. Okay, so this is like the traffic landscape. Let's talk a little bit about mobile web and mobile apps, because you can like consume the mobile. You can like consume information on mobile like either via website or via dedicated apps, and 90% of time we spend on mobile internet is now spent on apps. Only 10% is spent on mobile browsers, and this number is rising like year to year, because like between like 2018 and 2021 it grew like by 30%. So those are like this statistic is including like games and social apps as well, but it means that we are like a lot accustomed to using like apps, and we prefer them to mobile browsers. So we know that like an average user has like 80 apps. That's a lot.
So how many of you guys actually have so many apps? Yeah? How many have more? Who has more than 80 apps? Okay. Who has less?
So you have like 80 apps on your phone, but how many you think you are using like on monthly basis, like during the month? How many apps? Like 10, 15, maybe 30, 50, how much? How many? Sorry? 15? 20? So the average is 30 worldwide. So it's like 30 apps used monthly. So banking apps like once or twice a week, stuff like that. So how do you think, like how many apps users are like using like on daily basis to do like? Yeah, but how many apps? Like do you think like 5? 8. Yeah, you have really good intuition. It's 9. It's 9. It includes like all the app, like Chrome, stuff like that.
Also, banking app, for example, right? Or there's lots of apps that you use. Or Uber, that's also an app.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 9. Is it a lot? Yeah, for me it was like a surprise. I thought I was using like only 3 or 4, but 9. It's
so
a big
apps
number.
are a part of our lives. We can't really question it. Yeah, like we even don't know that we use them. That's the interesting psychological thing. When I was talking to Alex, like, oh, I'm using one app, and it's like, actually no, I'm using this, and that. I just forget it's an app. That's a good sign.
Yeah. When I think about apps, like I think like games and social networks, not like banking and web browser. Yeah, and Uber, stuff like that. Okay, so. Okay, in terms of like m-commerce, so mobile e-commerce, and it includes mobile website and mobile apps. We can see that right now, like in 2022, like 67% of e-commerce sales were coming from mobile. So from mobile apps and from mobile websites. And majority of those sales were coming from mobile-friendly websites, not the apps. So people like are using like Chrome or other like mobile browsers to access the mobile version of websites. But the time spent in shopping apps is growing constantly, and between like 2018 and 2021, it grew like by 100%. While the time spent in apps generally grew by 30%. So the time spent in apps, in shopping apps is growing like 3 times faster. And a lot of like players on the market like saw that trend. And in a report from 2021, we can read that 37% of all European online stores has at least one shopping app. And there is like a clear trend that the bigger store, there is more likely that it will have an app. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about like 10 most downloaded shopping apps globally. We checked that in I think that was for Android, yes.
No, it was for both platforms, in fact.
Okay, so it's combined.
Yeah, it's combined. And maybe before you click, do you guys know? Shopee, that's a good. Amazon, yeah. This is worldwide, right? So
Yes,
you're gonna
it's
see
worldwide.
a US
It's like Asia. Yeah. So marketplaces, you
Who said Shine?
Who said
Who
Shine?
knows? We should have some prizes for people who.
So you said like marketplaces, yeah. So it's like the number one is Shine. I needed to check that because I didn't know the brand. So as you can see, like we have here mainly the fast fashion marketplaces.
Yeah, you forgot about my amazing animation.
Fast fashion marketplaces and electronics.
Consumer electronics. Okay, I put a lot onto these slides, right? So, but this is not hopeful. If you think about the world, the fact that majority of shopping apps are in fast fashion and consumer electronics. Doesn't make me very optimistic.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. Yeah,
it's not very sustainable.
Yeah.
But you know, still, it's not about sustainability. This session it's about shopping apps. Yeah, so.
Yeah, and when we look at these numbers, like, is it a lot or not? I mean, like, it's hard to tell because 221 million.
Is it
kind
a lot?
of a lot. Is it a popular app or not? So we tried to compare it with the most popular apps in globally. And it's, for example, it's TikTok, and TikTok was downloaded in 2022 like nearly 700 million times. So the Shine was downloaded like only like 3 times less.
And TikTok was the most popular
in
2022. Yeah, and you know what is TikTok?
Yeah, so it means like the shopping apps are kind of getting like popularity. And for example, like the Shine was downloaded as frequently as Spotify, for example. So that's a big sign. And when we also like took a look at the apps in the US, and the list was a little bit different. So, for example, yeah. So for sure,
Makes
you
us
think
more
that it's
hopeful
Amazon. Yeah.
for humanity.
US is a little bit different. Amazon is like the first one, so the marketplace as well.
Still shine.
Yeah, still shine. But we get like Walmart and Nike, and those are like retailers and D2C. And we also like compare that with the TikTok numbers and the most popular game like Roblox now in the US, at least in terms of like mobile app. And the Amazon is not far away in terms of like downloads. So people like are using like shopping ads on regular basis. Yeah, Walmart.
Yeah,
and
you know, for me, the fact that Nike is there and it's a shopping app of Nike, it's obviously connected to their loyalty program and club, and the fact that they release new models on the app. So it's really brilliant thing. But look, this is the D2C company. It's actually producer of one brand and of shoes, right? And they made it to the list. So that's pretty impressive. I have this moment of being fascinated by Nike. I don't know if you guys watched this latest movie, Air, about how they hired Michael Jordan. Really recommend. So I think these guys are somehow doing some innovative things when it comes to commerce in general. So the fact that they actually prioritize their mobile app so much, it's for me also an interesting sign for some trend that is showing.
Okay, so the key conclusions from the facts and trends on landscape. So there is no clean winner when it comes to preferred device to consume for internet usage, and you can still see that the desktop is not dead, because like at least like 30% of traffic wherever you will take a look at the world is coming from desktop. Okay, the time spent on shopping mobile apps like is growing like 3 times faster than time spent on apps average. So the consumption of shopping mobile apps is growing. And the most popular like shopping apps are not far from the most popular social or games. So that's a good sign. And although like most popular shopping ads are marketplaces, as Ewa said, with fashion and electronics, which give like not a lot of hope for humanity. Like still in US, like the retail and D2C shopping apps, so Walmart and Nike, is on the list of the 5 most downloadable apps of 2022.
Okay, so now I'm gonna take over. So that's really the moment that everyone thinks about, like, I wanna know how the metrics are, right? So what are the key metrics? It doesn't make sense to have a mobile app, or it's better to have a website, because I'm sure there's gonna be some clarity. So as I said before, there will be not much clarity, but hopefully there's gonna be some discussion. So first thing, before we go into the metrics for e-commerce, I just want to make a point that there is one key difference between website and mobile shopping. What is this key difference? Okay, sirs, do you guys know?
Website is strictly informational, and on the mobile shopping app, you can actually do things other than calculating on the server side. I think installation.
Yeah, that's also true. There's also more possibilities within the app, and we're going to talk about it. But the event of app installation is actually the biggest difference between these two solutions. There's an additional event that happens, and that has to happen before a user purchases through the mobile app. There has to be a visit in the store, either a Google Play Store or Apple Store, and there has to be an installation or download of the app. So this is this additional thing, and I will not go further into it because we're going to have Lila and then Piotrek presenting more about the concrete metrics and funnels around marketing different apps. So, but remember, keep this in mind, that app installation changes everything, and that's why it's so difficult to compare apples to apples, because these are not two apples. Yeah, this is apple and a pear, let's say. Yeah, and one has an installation, the other doesn't have. So now, obviously, if you want to make a decision, okay, should I build an app, or should I just have a website, or how to do it? Being a digital marketing specialist working in the e-commerce industry for already 15 years, I always want to look at the metrics. So it doesn't make sense from the perspective of metrics. So we put here like the 4 main metrics for e-commerce: conversion, average order value, customer acquisition cost, and then customer lifetime value, which is of course connected to the frequency of purchase, and the customer acquisition cost is connected to the traffic and the cost of the traffic that you're getting. So now the question is, so what's better? What's better for website? What's better for shopping app? So first we start with conversion, and if you talk about a website, it's usually in general lower. So the number of people who visit the website towards the number of people who actually purchase on this website, this proportion will be lower for websites versus shopping apps. But it's going to flip everything for you when you will come back to the slide before, which said that you need an installation on the way. So now we can't really compare the conversion like an apple to apple because before the conversion happens inside of the shopping app, there has to be an event of the installation, which can really change it a lot. But once the user already has a mobile app for shopping installed, the conversion inside of this mobile app most likely will be higher, and we have observed it among our clients. Now, when it comes to the average order value, this is totally inconclusive. I have found some, I would say to myself, bullshit data online that average order values inside, like on websites, are higher. But this is actually hard to compare because usually companies that sell more expensive products for the more limited number of customers, they don't have shopping apps so often as those that sell like cheaper products. So the average order value comparison is difficult, and for the businesses that we have worked with, which had both mobile app and website, we didn't see a clear trend, even though I was always looking for it because I was thinking, obviously it makes more sense to create a bigger order on the website because you can see more products. But that wasn't ever clear when we were looking at the data we had. And now customer acquisition cost, it's true that it's in general usually lower for e-commerces that operate through the website. And why is it so? Well, first of all, the effect of then SEO and the access to more variety of different acquisition channels, and Lila gonna actually talk about it more during her session, makes the blended customer acquisition cost for websites usually lower. And main is the benefit of organic and just SEO that gonna, with the time, actually make this lower. Hi guys. And finally, the customer lifetime value, that's the one that is actually usually lower for the websites. So the reason is that on the website versus the shopping mobile apps, you have less opportunities to actually scale your customer lifetime value through different loyalty functionalities. So now, when we go into the shopping app, among the different cases that we have worked with, Arek has worked with, different case studies we're going through, the conversion rate inside the shopping app could be 20 to 30% higher than conversion on the shopping website. So yes, that's true that conversion will be higher there, but remember that you need to install an app before the conversion happens. So that's why these apples are not totally comparable. Average order value, this is inconclusive. Finally, customer acquisition cost with a scope here is higher for shopping apps on mobile. And it's something that Lila gonna talk about, so hopefully she's gonna give you some reasons why this is usually more expensive to acquire a customer through a shopping app. And what's good news then is that lifetime value is usually higher for shopping apps, and it's because there's more opportunities to actually create different interactions with the customer, and I'm gonna talk about it briefly in a second. So there's different generic pros and cons for both solutions. So if your e-commerce store decides to sell just through your website, no shopping app, so there are going to be majority of pluses. It's cheaper and faster to build, it's cheaper and easier to maintain, and it's cheaper and easier to analyze and optimize. So in general, it's just a simple switch. Like Victoria is laughing because she can build your website like within a week, and she can do it very cheap. And there's lots of people who can actually do it. You can download your Shopify and do website for shopping yourself if you want right now, or you can invest a little bit to make it better and invest a lot to make it awesome. But this is very different if you go into the mobile shopping apps. So it's cheaper, more accessible infrastructure, and what's also obviously easier is something that Piotrek gonna talk about later. It's also the analytics and how to set up analytics for your website. So you're gonna see that basically this is a simpler solution, but that there are cons. And first of them is the worst brand impact. I don't know how to really put this in words properly, but if you're a prestigious brand, actually it's good to have your shopping app, because you are starting to live on a mobile of your customer, and that's brilliant. It becomes your own channel for marketing, because it's like having your small shop inside of the device that your customer uses on a daily basis. And as you have seen, people spend tons of time of their mobile. So if they're actually having you on their mobile and they're frequently going straight there and skipping Google engine, you're already a winner. There are cases and some customers that we work with right now, for example, in the line of cosmetics, a lot of customers, a lot of conversions are being lost even before they reach the website, because people go to Google to compare prices. If they're used not to go to Google, but to go to your shopping app first, you're already a big winner. Now, poor user experience. Well, someone said it already in the room that mobile apps, they give you more options. I'm going to talk about it in a second, and less MOFU and BOFU options. MOFU, BOFU, for those of you guys who don't use it, it's middle and bottom of the funnel options. So chances to actually gather leads, interact with the customer, get some feedback, do some verification, do the personalization, close the customer through personalized communication with them. So now, sales via shopping app, they have lots of pros that I already talked about. It's your own marketing channel. There's more features. So actually, your mobile phone gives access to a lot of features, like biometric, like geo, like camera. You can do lots of crazy stuff, like actually use like some data from your body and face to give you recommendations about cosmetics. Like a lot of people already start doing it. So, there's lots of chances with the mobile apps that go beyond what you can do solely with your website. And finally, there's more options, and they're connected to the fact that you can, for example, just send these stupid little pushes to your customers, and that becomes a next way of communicating with your customer, which are different than emails, which are different with SMSs, and they can be related to different activities that you're actually doing within the app. And I hope you already know what the cons are, and these are mostly about everything which is more expensive and harder. Yeah, so it's just everything is great, but in the end it's just more expensive and harder. So that's why these decisions are so difficult to make, because it's awesome, but it's pricey. So it's like life is. Yeah, all the awesome stuff are more pricey. Maybe that's just a generic conclusion. So now some small tech. Yeah. So this is the moment, if you're in IT, you can go and grab a coffee, because this is going to be a super basic part.
So there are like two key technologies to consider if you want to like build your own shopping app or app in general. So we have like native apps. Those are the apps that you build from scratch, and you use like the software that is like that is specifically created for iOS or Android. And we have like progressive web apps, and those are apps that are like app imitating website, and they're like designed and optimized to perform like the mobile app. You can like have them on your website. You can like add them to a shop to be able to download the app, but it's not necessary. And in terms of like native apps, you can like access the device features. So as Ewa said, for example, like camera, GPS, stuff like that. You have a supreme user experience because the app is optimized for Android or iOS. Better security, and on a con side, you have like time and costs, because it can be really expensive to develop and maintain the app. And there is a kind of like complex post-release support from an IT perspective. In terms of like progressive web apps, you have a quick launch to the market because you have like your site already built, so you need to like adjust it. But for example, like Shopify doesn't support this kind of this kind of
It still has to be built,
technology.
but it's simpler. Like if Shopify had its own solution for progressive web apps, that would be awesome, and probably they're gonna have, but right now they don't. So, but still, it's much easier.
Yeah, you use that in your
yeah.
business.
So for example, we've got in PortalYogi a progressive web app. Marzena can tell you later something about it. So it works. Yeah. You love it, Marzena? No. Yeah,
but like Spotify uses that, I think.
Yeah, that's Starbucks uses it,
so
for example.
Even like big companies.
So there are big companies who use progressive web apps already. So it's not just small businesses. Like for me, it was interesting that Starbucks actually does it, and and they I think Pinterest is also a progressive
Pinterest.
web app. So
yeah, so they are like usually they are like cheaper to develop and maintain. And then can be like indexed by Google because you can make them visible in search. But on the con side, you have like limited features, no camera, no GPS, stuff like that, and security can be sometimes a problem.
They can't access all these features of your phone because it's like a fake. It's actually a website that gets triggered through you visiting an app store. You click it and it opens a website. So it's really not a true app, but it kind of imitates one. So for the end of the session, just to maybe get you out of the confusion, because I'm sure right now you can't really answer if you should invest all your savings into building shopping mobile app, then maybe let's see how different companies actually do it, because there's 3 different approaches, and I will not reveal here some big secret because it's something obvious, but I want to show you something interesting behind that scenario. So there are some companies that sell just through website. And I was trying to pick some examples from Polish market. So we've got EasyBra, which is a big online cosmetic store that actually sells huge volumes. We have Health Labs, the biggest e-commerce in Poland that sells supplements. And Agata Meble, which I think is the biggest Polish brand that sells furniture online. And these 3 companies, they don't have a shopping mobile app. They don't, okay? Now, there's a second option, sales only via mobile app. Here, I put an example of Arkadiusz. This is one that doesn't sell through website. There's more, there's also Uber Eats. I put 2 green ones because I wanted to give you another awesome animation that shows a trend that actually here we can see a trend. This is all about quick commerce. This is all about delivery service, about quick shopping, about something that can be also called a convenience segment. So we can see a trend here. But now if you go to the last category, which is companies that actually decided to build both website and a shopping app, then it's very similar to the first category of those who didn't. So you can have Heba, which is another huge cosmetic store that has both app and a website. You have Frisco, which sells grocery, right? So again, they have both app and a website, and then you've got IKEA that also has both app and a website. So again, it's not clear. Like it's not that trends show you should just have a website or make this investment into mobile. So the answer to the question that we asked in the beginning is that there's no simple answer to the question. There's really no. And because of that, we really hope that you're going to go home from this event with your own conclusion about it, because we're going to give you facts, and hopefully this session gave you some facts and maybe motivated you to think about shopping mobile apps as something that is actually trending. Yeah, so we can see it's trending. More people use it. People spend more time in the shopping apps. They become more common. They become a part of our reality. But now there is this huge cost of developing them, maintaining them. You probably also need people to work with them. So does it make sense? And hopefully we're gonna answer this question and you're gonna go with it home today. So thank you for this. And now we're gonna have Lila, who will give a presentation. Guys, we're gonna give some time for questions, but maybe not after this first session, because really it wasn't nothing like so, I think, extraordinary. Like we did a good job, yeah, but it wasn't like some, learnings. It was just research. So now Lila gonna actually show a bit more of the insights from the performance side.